Friday's Wales at 6. A new trade deal promises to put Welsh meat back on the continental menu.
If we're exporting, then it's obvious it's going to be more beneficial to us.
Also tonight, Andrew and Ricky are living with addiction. We hear why this cookery class has been their recipe for recovery. Plus, a climate success story, how Wales' peatlands are making a comeback as nature's carbon sponge. And from the mountains to the mines, Kelsey's exploring King Arthur's underground labyrinth in a rurry. Hello, good evening. You may well be tucking into some lamb chops or perhaps a beef burger for tea tonight, but the Welsh red meat industry, worth £800 million a year, has faced challenges since Brexit. Now, though, a new deal with the EU promises to slash red tape and make it easier to sell Welsh goods to the continent. It'll mean no paperwork to sell other foods like fish, eggs and dairy across the channel. So, is this a game changer or simply a PR stunt with little impact? Joanne Gallagher's been hearing from those on the front line.
Carlos is a skilled butcher, like his father and his grandfather before him. He's proud of it and this shop he's built over 8 years in mould, but he admits the wider industry, entwined in red tape, is getting harder.
It's changed immensely. Years ago, as I've grown up with it, I've seen livestock coming in wagon loads.
It's been harder to export, hasn't it, since Brexit?
I think so, yeah. I hear a lot of elderly people telling me how much difficult it's gone and is proven to be since Brexit.
Things are now starting to change, though. This new deal will relax rules and make it easier to export meat, and a new food and drink deal will mean raw burgers and sausages can be sold in the EU for the first time since Brexit. Brexit did change rules and regulations for those who work in the farming industry and the agriculture sector. Here in Flintshire, the majority of people who voted did do so to leave the EU. But now, with this change in red tape, people here will see some benefit. With politicians arguing that getting food to the supermarket shelves quicker will see the weekly shop go down in price.
I'd welcome it, yes. And so would my wife, that's in there stocking up at the moment.
I think we've lost so much by being out of the EU.
This change in the regulations will make it easier for our farmers and meat exporters to export once again. Do you think that would be good?
I think it's absolutely essential.
This change is going to see farmers sending their meat to countries in the European Union with much more ease, and it's not lost on them.
We would need to keep some autonomy for ourselves, because if there were some regulations that we were not happy with, because obviously we would not be able to contribute to those regulations formed in the EU, well, obviously we would have to be cautious. Most probably 90+% we would have no issues, but we've got to safeguard ourselves just in case we lock ourselves in.
With the stretching of this red tape, the Great British Banger and famous Welsh burgers could soon be found on a European menu. Joanne Gallagher, ITV News, Mould.
Elsewhere, a man's been arrested on suspicion of murder after another man was found dead at a block of flats in Torfaen. Emergency services, including firearms officers, were called to Blaenavon in the early hours of this morning after reports that the 47-year-old had been seriously injured. The 34-year-old suspect is being held in custody while investigations continue. A new project to help people recover from long-term alcohol addiction has been launched in Swansea, using cooking to help people turn their lives around. The Feeding Recovery Scheme is designed to use food as a way of regaining control and socialising. Hamish Ouskary went along to find out more.
It might only be 11 a.m, but for friends Andrew and Ricky, it's already curry hour in Swansea. He's had his struggles in the past, but this cookery class is giving Ricky the chance to rebuild his life through routine, friendship and food.
Yeah, it's helped me a lot. I've been coming here 12 months and it has. I know the staff are good there as well. They got a good thing well in which, to be honest with you, is not enough of a running, is it? Just enough things like this. To be honest with you, but if they had more things like this running, I think it'd be better because, yeah, it takes you scheduled days, you know what I mean?
And lasagna, that's the most one.
Poor nutrition and social isolation are often linked to alcohol misuse. The charity Barod deliver this service in Swansea every week. And for people like Andrew, it's been making a difference.
I was homeless for 2 months, and then I'm in a hostel now, I am.
And do you think joining a group like this or being able to come here has helped you with dealing with life and making improvements?
Yeah, it does, yeah. Especially coming here. I enjoy coming here. It's a good laugh.
You guys known each other since the start, have you?
Feeding Recovery is a project that was started by the charity Alcohol Change UK. And with the help of additional Welsh Government funding, it's able to support more people. But wider issues remain.
Alcohol minimum unit pricing was introduced in 2020. The latest stats we have show that alcohol-related deaths are at a record high still. It's still not working, is it, the policy from Welsh Government?
So so alcohol policy is mostly with the UK government. So what we do in Wales is everything that we have the power to be able to do. So when you talk about the minimum unit pricing, that's something that I've been seeing through a consultation on now. We've had a huge amount of responses to it. And you're right, in 2020 we made it 50p, but with inflation, it's not really having the desired effect that we set out to have. So that's why we're looking at raising it to 65p.
Should minimum unit pricing not be starting to bear fruit now in terms of a reduction of people dying from alcohol-related deaths?
I think we've definitely seen a reduction off the back of it, of people coming into hospital. And I think now the Chief Medical Officer as well is taking this up as a very, very serious topic. We're working very closely with the UK government as well, but it's complex.
Looking at our current referrals into our services, we're looking at alcohol making up around 70% of those individuals that come into treatment and support. So what we do find really beneficial is that peer-to-peer learning, meeting other people that are potentially experience the same issues, the same challenges, and also countering future challenges, and they can have a space to open and share that.
The increased public money being spent on the project has allowed it to expand to Cardiff too, where vulnerable women are being supported by the Nelson Trust.
A lot of what we do in the Women's Centre is try and have a safe place for them where it feels like home, and a lot of the women say that it sort of feels like coming to somewhere safe, and part of that thing is doing normal things like cooking and having a meal together and sitting around and everything that goes with that. It's not just actually the food. A lot of the time it is the food, because it's sometimes people's only meal that they're having that day.
So I live in Bridgend, I do. You know Bridgend?
Eating better food and making new friends over shared meals. These are simple pleasures that many suffering with addiction go without. If that's your reality, the message from charities here: don't wait until crisis point to reach out for help. Hamish Alskerry, ITV News, Swansea.
Now, with the dark nights drawing in, cycling groups across the UK are taking part in glow rides. Cyclists will be brightly lit as they take to the streets, and our reporter Megan Boot is live for us in Newport tonight, where one ride is about to take place. Megan, what's behind all this then?
That's right, Katie. Welcome to Newport, a city that has seen a real increase in those numbers cycling over the last few years. You want to know what this is about? Come and have a look. David, I'm going to start with you. Welcome to Wales at 6. I'm starting with you because look at your bike. You've really made it glow. Talk us through it.
Thank you very much. Well, I kind of just wanted to make it look as bright as possible. Had some Christmas decorations lying around. I thought
great, multi-use
and everything like that, and lots of these glow sticks going out, which I kind of shared with everyone as well.
Fantastic. And you're someone you've been cycling more and more since you came back to the city.
I came back to Newport about 9 years ago, and my sort of commute into work is like traffic free all the way. It's along the River Usk. It's lovely at all times of the year. I mean, when it's wet, it's not so great, but lots of rabbits at the end as well. Just
lovely,
wonderful.
Lovely. I'll let you get ready. Well, Willoughby, you're the lead rider, the organiser of today's event. Why did you want it to happen?
Yeah, so I work for Momentum. We're part of Newport Live, and we're an active travel group. So we encourage people to take up walking cycling and wheeling here within Newport. This is kicking off a series of community rides that we're going to do once a month around this lovely infrastructure that we have here in the city centre.
And get more people cycling. And there's this glow element of today. This is called a glow ride. Tell me about that, why that's such an important part of today.
Yeah, so Cycling UK have really done a lot to kickstart this first ride, and the glow ride is a concept of theirs, sort of taking the safety element, you know, that can have sort of a negative connotation to it, sort of like your mum nagging you about you've got to be wearing your high-vis tabard, and you know, turning it into a positive and a fun thing. Like, let's see how bright we can make the bikes. Let's all good, just head to toe in bright coloured gear.
And hopefully, I suppose, encouraging more people who are going to see you going around. You can't be missed and go, or maybe I'll take up cycling.
Yeah, hopefully they see Newport a bit differently.
Brilliant. Okay, right, I'm going to let you go. So I'm going to do the countdown for this ride, everybody. In 3, 2, 1, let's go! And they are off. Don't they look fantastic? Nice and bright. A rider at the back to make sure no one is left behind. As I say, it's happening right across the country, and hopefully there'll be some people walking around Newport tonight, seeing them go, thinking, do you know what? It might be time for me to get back on 2 wheels. Katie, back to you.
Brilliant, Megan. Where's your bike? Would have been good to see her getting on one, wouldn't it? Thanks very much indeed. Now, they capture thousands of tonnes of carbon every year and help to tackle climate change. But up to 90% of Wales' peatlands are under threat. Well, a new project between farmers, Spanau Brycheiniog National Park and the Welsh Government is trying to protect them. And the good news is it's been a success in the Black Mountains. Our Rural Affairs correspondent Hannah Thomas has more.
They're rugged landscapes near the border between Wales and England, but the Black Mountains are home to some of our best peatlands, boggy areas high up on the hills.
No, it is coming, it is coming.
The Deputy First Minister did his bit to stop the water escaping and came to see a new project which is using sheep's wool to lock the water in.
The sheep's wool we've been able to source locally from local graziers and sheep, and then we've brought the material up onto the hill, and then it's been a really good product. It's very flexible to use as a barrier to slow the water flow up. It breaks down slowly and lasts a long time.
It's when these peat bogs are wet that they store the most carbon, and that's helping to tackle climate change, even in an area as remote as this one.
Well, over my shoulder, you can see the summit of Waenfach. It is the highest peak in the Black Mountains, standing at around 810 metres tall. In the summer, this is a very harsh environment because when the temperatures get hot, everything bakes. But in the winter, it is icy cold and everything freezes. So that freeze-thaw action also damages the peat here.
The increase in the number of walkers has damaged the peat too, so this project has seen a new stone path built to take hikers to the summit. It's designed to stop them wading through the peat bogs altogether.
The path that we've been walking along to get here, before that was there was such a mess from the quantity of people walking, because when people walk and it gets muddy, they go to the side and then they go to the side, and the mess was about 50 yards wide, whereas now, since the path has gone in, people stick to the path and vegetation has recovered to the side.
89 hectares of peatland have now been protected as part of the scheme, but the original target was just 3 hectares. Across Wales, 3,000 hectares of peatland have been restored. But how did we get here in the first place?
In the post-war years, we were literally drying these bogs out deliberately to grow food there. And we didn't realise what we were doing. Now we're much more informed. We know what the impact of this is. A very small proportion of our land here within Wales, around about 4%, is peatland, but it locks 30% of our carbon up if we get it right, if it's not dried out, if the water isn't running straight off down the valleys. So that's why this is so important. This is about flood alleviation, climate mitigation, and actually good grazing as well for productive land.
The Welsh Government has now set a new target of restoring 45,000 hectares of peatland in Wales by 2050. There's a long road ahead and a lot of work to do. Hannah Thomas, ITV News in the Black Mountains.
Oh, looked beautiful up there, didn't it? And remember, there is plenty of analysis on all of our content delivered straight to your inbox via our weekly newsletter. It's delivered straight to you every Saturday. And here's Andrea with how to sign up.
Just scan the QR code on your screen now where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter where you can read more in-depth analysis and insight from our reporters into the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, search ITV Wales.
Still to come, Ruth will be here. How is the weather looking for the weekend?
Jolly good question, maybe best not to ask. Let's just say after such a long and settled run, the wind of change is blowing right in our direction. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Yes, and speaking of change, Ruth, from flowers and tasty food to now performing DJ sets, Cardiff Market is full of hustle and bustle tonight. Join me soon.
Sounds lively there, doesn't it? But first, budding martial arts competitors have descended on Swansea as the city hosts the World Championships. It's for amateur competitors, but some have travelled from as far as the US to compete. Our reporter Issa Farfor has been to watch some of the action.
The gloves are on and Swansea is ready for the fight. This week, the city is hosting the World Martial Arts Championships, with hundreds of fighters arriving from all over the world.
Our team is the first to represent USA at the ICO World Championships. So I think that's a huge ordeal. Like, we're the first. We're the first ones to set the stage and to pave the way for people who want to come next year. Like, I tell my team, like, y'all are the first ones to do it.
This championship is all about showcasing talent, culture, and the spirit of competition.
Well, I feel really proud. I'm really happy because, you know, obviously it's in Wales and I'm fighting for the Welsh team. It feels really good. You know, I've worked hard for it and it's quite exciting as well because I get to fight other countries, get more opportunities to fight different people as well from all around the world.
Being proud is amazing, especially representing my team, representing Wales. It's an amazing experience. It's a bit like a pressure, but it's fine and I can't wait to fight, can't wait to get on the mats.
It's a 4-day competition that finishes on Sunday, bringing the world of martial arts right to the heart of Swansea, united by one passion, the fight for excellence.
This is the biggest event that the ICO has ever put on. We've got over 800 competitors, about 820 competitors. We've got 17 countries. For Swansea, this is massive. For Wales, this is massive. This is the first time that the ICO has ever run a level of competition this big in Wales. We run the Welsh Open every year, are very successful, and certainly the biggest competition in Wales by a long way. But this is on a different level.
With competitors from every corner of the globe, this is an event of punches, pride, and plenty of passion. Issa Farfor, ITV News in Swansea.
You're watching Wales at 6. Let's get a reminder now of tonight's top story. Welsh meat exporters are set to benefit from a new trade deal that promises to slash red tape and make it easier to send goods to the continent. The agreement between the UK and the European Union will mean no paperwork will be needed to sell foods like fish, eggs and dairy. And still to come this evening.
Coming up on tonight's ITV Evening News, anger over the decision to stop supporters of Maccabi Tel Aviv from attending an Aston Villa match. We have the latest on the controversial Israeli fan ban. The advert that helped con vulnerable timeshare owners out of millions of pounds. Today, one of the masterminds behind the scam is sentenced. And charging into the face of danger when others wouldn't. The police officers who dealt with the Hainault attack are honoured for their outstanding bravery at this year's Pride of Britain Awards. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
In football, Wales manager Rhian Wilkinson says her side are relishing the prospect of facing Australia in a friendly match later this month. It's her squad's first outing since the summer's Euros, and attention has now turned to building on their historic achievement.
It's just another test for us against a top opposition with some big names, which I also think is important, that we keep playing against top teams with the names that my players have heard in the news, because it's very easy to sort of think that they're other than we are. They're not. They're a great opposition for us and a good test, and we need to get used to playing teams like that.
Now, when you think of a traditional indoor market, a butcher's or veg store might come to mind. But now Cardiff Market is transforming itself into a music venue. As part of the city's Soon Festival, it'll welcome musicians alongside traders for a weekend-long series of events. And there for us this evening is our reporter Lewis Rees-Jones. Lewis, looks great there. What else can people expect this weekend then?
I think they can be guaranteed a very warm welcome at a very colourful and vibrant venue, Katie. Well, as you mentioned it, this Grade 2 Victorian listed building is famous for being a market, but it does feel more like a nightclub or a disco tonight. And we can find out more about the idea behind the music now with Kieran from the festival. Hi there, thanks for your time. Got to ask you a little bit about the idea of a DJ set and a market all at once.
Yeah, it's all part of Cardiff Music City Festival, and we're creating a really special atmosphere here tonight in the market. We've got Radio C doing broadcasts through the day and DJ sets tonight, and it's part of the wider festival. So soon it's happening this weekend, where there's loads of musicians performing across grassroots venues in the city. And then we've had actually 2 weeks of music as part of the festival. We've had the Welsh Music Prize, Slice Festival, and plenty more solo shows as well.
That's brilliant. And it's all about, you know, giving those up-and-coming artists a place and a platform.
Yeah, totally. So we've had an amazing summer of live music here in Cardiff, and as we move from those big outdoor shows into the autumn, the festival celebrates and supports grassroots venues, artists coming through, talent development, and yeah, it's a great place to catch the next up-and-coming act.
That's brilliant here. I'll let you go and enjoy the night. Thank you very much indeed, Kieran. Well, we are, as you see, in the middle of the market. I fancy a bit of sweets later because it is looking very tasty here. Got the flowers as well. But we need to hear from one of the stall holders who has been here for many years but might not be used to having a disco on her doorstep. I've got to ask you a little bit. How are you feeling about tonight? You normally close by 5 o'clock, but here you are, busy into the night.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. This is our second evening of the night market, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful that the market's open. It's free entry as well, so that's a bonus. And there's loads of amazing food, loads of amazing stalls open. People can just come in, they can bring their pets, their family. It's just a wonderful opportunity for people to just get together. It's so much of a community in the market, and it's just time for having fun and just having positive vibes.
Switching off and enjoying having fun. You summed it right. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Thank you. So yes, it's a chance now for the stall holders to get a different clientele and customer base as usual, but I think everyone will be having a boogie along their way as well, Katie.
Lewis, go and get yourself a Welsh cake and hopefully you can enjoy the boogieing. Thanks very much indeed. Weather time now then, and the weekend is almost here. Ruth, how's it looking?
Yes, well, let's just say the settle run that we've had this week is about to come to a rather abrupt end, although the wet and windy weather, of course, not such a problem if you're underground, which is where we're headed in search of myths, battles and even dragons. The Corris Mines in mid-Wales really are the stuff of legend, as Kelsey Redmore has been finding out.
This is a land shaped by the hands of the slate mining industry. Steep-sided valleys with deep underground caverns. As the formidable mountains loom overhead, it's also a place that gives rise to ancient myths and legends.
And the legend of King Arthur and his connection to Wales is one of the most famous.
I'm meeting Shirley Owen from King Arthur's Labyrinth in Corris, an attraction set in a former mine where a good tale has as many twists as the tunnels below. Some of the stories here date back 1,500 years, and it's amazing that they are still told today.
So little was written down
And all of these stories were shared by bards, storytellers, poets. Can you imagine being in a massive marketplace, crowds of people with these great storytellers around a fire? And so through the ages, all of these legends have been told and retold.
The mountains here conceal a hidden world. Once it was a bustling, noisy place where over 200 men worked.
You can really feel the temperature difference. It feels so much colder in here.
Yeah, it's 14 degrees outside today, but it's 8 degrees down here, and it stays 8 degrees all year round.
How far down does this actually go?
So it goes 17 miles altogether, so it'll do 17 miles, and you get loads of different sections. You get little tunnels that go off, and it's about 80 chambers altogether.
These tunnels, so painstakingly dug out, are now being used for something new. The darkness, the eeriness, the otherworldliness are the perfect stage for myths and legends where the imagination can fly.
Oh my word! I definitely was not expecting that.
This is the story of King Gwytherin and the two warring dragons. The backdrop of the caverns is the perfect setting as you listen to the tale. As you follow the path through shallow tunnels, other ancient stories from Wales unfold. Camlan, believed to be King Arthur's final battle, and a tale about Cantre'r Gwaelod and a terrible flood.
Now that was something else. I mean, I've learned about legends and I've seen dragons.
And you can see more of that on Coast and Country tonight at 7 o'clock right here on ITV Cymru Wales. Well, the weather itself seems to be the stuff of legend at the moment, doesn't it? It's been so dry and settled and frankly dull for the last few days. But I did mention those winds of change earlier, and they are certainly blowing our way because as we head into the coming weekend, typical timing, it is all going to change. What can we expect? Well, we are going to see some dry and sunny spells as we head into tomorrow, but don't get caught out. If you're heading out and about through tomorrow night, it's going to turn very, very wet and very, very windy. The worst of the weather clearing then as we head into Sunday afternoon. Don't believe me? Let me show you on the bigger picture. Here it is, a spiraling mess of low pressure edging our way. That on your corner of your screens, that's the high pressure that's brought the settled weather for this week. So it will be a dim and distant memory. Now, the good thing is that Sunday afternoon things will improve. Decent if you're making plans, but next week looks set to remain unsettled too. So here's that in a little more detail.
Today's forecast, blue skies, followed by a spread of hot and cold plates. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Well, it's not too bad out there at the moment. It is a little on the breezy side, and as we head into the overnight stretch, we'll keep the cloud, which across the Banau Brycheiniog, for example, could be thick enough for a few spots of patchy rain and drizzle, but generally a dry night tonight. And because of that cloud and that quite keen breeze, it will stop the temperatures from dropping quite as low as they did last night. We hit the freezing mark. Tonight, we're looking at general lows of around 10 or 11, possibly a little bit fresher in more sheltered rural areas. But it's not going to be a bad start to the coming weekend at all. If a little on the breezy side, could be quite slow for any early morning mist to lift, but it will do. Varying amounts of cloud, but some decent breaks allowing that sun to shine. Temperatures like today topping at around 15 or 16, but it will feel slightly fresher in that breeze. And that breeze will start to pick up as we head through Saturday night. And I'm sorry to say, this is where things really do change. You can see a band of rain working its way in our direction, bringing some occasionally heavy downpours, particularly through the early hours of Sunday. So if you are heading out and about, just be careful on the roads. It is not going to be pleasant by any means, and you can see across almost the whole of Wales it is going to be very, very unsettled. Now, the good news is the strong winds will blow that wet weather through quite quickly, so by the time we get into Sunday afternoon, it should be an improving process away from the far northeast. We're looking at drier conditions and possibly some breaks in the cloud. The winds will start to ease back into Sunday afternoon too. And actually, if you do catch some blue sky, it won't feel too bad at all. But as I say, it's not going to be particularly pleasant as we start the day. And the signs are really that low pressure is just going to dominate the weather story as we head through into next week.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Case of careful what you wish for, really. The weather's been so dull, we've all been complaining about it, so now it's about to get a little bit more eventful for the weekend, Katie.
Well, it is the weekend.
It is the weekend, there is that.
Ruth, thank you. Lewis Rhys-Jones will be back from the market for your late update. But for now, from the Wales at 6 team, have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.